Thank you. If they choose that they want higher density housing to bring more money into the county, then we'll look at that as well. Again, I want to look at each individual situation on its own merits.
All right.
You look like I didn't answer your question.
No, because I feel like I would like a philosophy, understanding of your philosophy of government.
My philosophy of government, like I said, is to get out of the way of people. But again, government is there to help the county to grow responsibly. Otherwise, we could have anything popping up anywhere in the county.
Well, we do. Like in the state, we have the takings clauses being utilized all over the state. Where even in Aurora, just recently, they used a statute to blight farmland that's never been developed, so they could get they could develop that with federal funds.
Okay.
I mean, those are the kind of issues that I'm trying to understand. What is your why do you call yourself a Republican? Why do you believe certain ideals?
I don't call myself a Republican. I call myself a conservative. First, Republican, second, yes, sir.
Because I think those ideals ultimately determine how you'll make a decision when things come before you. And I'm trying to understand your philosophical beliefs when it comes to how government should operate, what ideals and principles are prominent in your mind when you come to decide things.
Okay, but you're talking two different situations. The situation you're talking about in Aurora is where government actually comes in and takes property from people. They say they pay the fair market value, but they take property. That's different than requiring a developer to meet certain standards and guidelines for new developments in the county.
Sure.
I'm totally against taking property from people. That belongs to us. But as for regarding new developments in the county and us having certain requirements to make sure that we maintain our standard of living, I think that's more than applicable.
And they're slightly similar.
Can I segue into this with a question that might help?
Sure.
I've been for 2.5 years, most of us in this room have been showing up at county commission meetings to fight for the limits that you're talking about that have been imposed. One of the reasons has to do with water. And places like Castle Rock dropped their 300- and 400-year requirement to 100-year, and now they're on water rationing. This is an issue that you're going to be asked to deal with. And so let's say we have a 300-year plan, which would be one of the reasons why we would restrict the number of houses in an area because of the availability of water. So this puts you on the spot. We're currently at least at 300-year levels, I believe, and the developers want 100-year levels, and then we can look like Douglas County. So what we really want to know is, would you favor reducing that 300-year restriction to a 100-year restriction and thrill the hell out of a lot of developers?
No. No, I would not favor reducing that. And I can tell you I've got some personal experience with that right now. We have our own water system up in Elbert Ranch where I live. That water system was sold to Arapahoe County Water and Wastewater Authority. And we're being rated for our water rates. We're in the process right now of trying to buy that system back. And that's what we're dealing with right now is that we met that 300-year mark when Elkhorn Ranch was first proposed. And there's been talk about, do we need to do another study? Do we need to decrease that number? I'm totally against decreasing that number because, again, we need to maintain that standard of living that we're used to and that we demand out here in Elbert County. Yes, sir.
What is your position? Where do you stand on medical marijuana dispensaries in Elbert County?
They don't belong. I'm totally against medical marijuana. Now, there's been a law that was passed. The people put it on the ballot, and the people voted for it. There's a lot of unintended consequences that have happened because of the people's desire. And now the state legislature and county governments and city governments are having to deal with that. Personally, I'm totally against it. I'm amazed that there was just a finite number of people that needed medical marijuana when they were talking about the bill, and now that it's law, that number has just blown up, and there's hundreds of thousands of people now that have the medical marijuana card saying that they need it for their treatment. It's an illegal drug. Until it's made legal, it needs to stay illegal. I'll be right back. Yes,
when county planning enforces a zoning law against a builder that causes economic damages to that builder, do you think that the county planning or that the county should be responsible for paying those economic damages?
Is that a hypothetical, or is that something that's happening?
Well, it goes to this takings question. If the county causes a takings in their zoning, costs some people, property owners, money, should the county make good for that? Should you pay for that?
If for some reason the county is going to take somebody's property, again, I'm against that. If it has to be done for a public safety reason or good of the public, then that person should be made whole for their property.
By the county?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes,
So in follow-up to the medical marijuana question,
Yes,
not just the dispensaries, but what about the agricultural growth?
Well, keep it in Mexico.
So would you have been doing some kind of a steps against that, or?
If we could do that legally, yes, ma'am. I don't think there's any place for that in Elbert County.
What about the taxation for it?
I don't care about the taxes from medical marijuana. It doesn't bother me. Yeah, money's great. Money's always great. I mean, we can always spend money, but there's a lot of different ways we can look at that. How about this person? I'll come right over.
Recently, FEMA came into the county and was pushing for FEMA requirements or wanted to sell flood insurance here. What's your feeling about FEMA coming in?
To sell flood insurance?
Yeah,
No.
good.
It's government. Government shouldn't sell insurance.
Good.
I do a lot of contract work for FEMA. It's ridiculous what they're trying to get into and what they're being directed into by FEMA. Yes, sir.
Just to follow up on Ellis Douglas' question on that, the county just passed takings, and I fought that 3% open space. And in that open space, I have to grant as a landowner public access with pads. And I still have to pay the county taxes on it. How is that not a taking? That's what you're going to be facing if you get elected.
Yes, sir, I understand. They're not taking your property, though. They're requiring you to do...
Sir, I'm a rancher.
Yes, sir?
And public access, public paths, I cannot run my cattle on that land.
You can't run your cattle on the open space land?
Taken all my means to make money on that, to pay my taxes on that land. That land is non-valuable. You have taken it with what you have just passed.
And I would love to speak with you about that, because I'd like to get some more information on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got it.
Thank you.
Obviously, we're kind of hitting the high points here. If you have questions for these candidates, pin your ears back against the wall and ask them. You'll get your answers before next Saturday. Make sure you understand what you're voting for. Next up, I'd like to...